And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're talking about Through the Desert, another blast from the past. Now, Through the Desert is not sold in this big box anymore. I got one of the early German editions. I have English rules, and Fantasy Flight has since republished it in a much smaller box. I don't have the exact size around here anywhere, but it's a smaller box, but it's pretty much the exact same game. Now, Through the Desert is everything I don't like about games, and the fact that the theme is so fake. It's about camels and caravans and whatever. It's an abstract strategy game. And it looks like candy. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. In fact, it's a really, really good one. Let me show you. So here's the board. Now this is a random setup. You'll start with some palm trees on some of these spaces that have palms on them. You're only going to put out 5 of them, and so you can have them random each time. And then you're going to put out a bunch of watering holes that are from 1 to 3, and those are going to be randomly placed on all these little dots that are over the board, and any empty spaces where you didn't place the palm trees. The palm trees stand for an oasis, then 1 through 3 stand for watering holes. Each player is going to take a bunch of camels, okay? Now this is, without a doubt, some of the coolest pieces in a game. They look like candy, and they're all pastel colors, and I don't know why camels are pastel, but each player is going to take a rider of another color. So for example, if I'm red, and I'm going to put a red rider on each camel, and I'm also going to take a gray camel, and this gray camel is just to place in front of me so I know which camel is mine. And so you see all these little cool color camels. And players are at the beginning of the game are going to start by placing these around the board in different spots. You can't put them next to other camels, and you can't put them next to a palm tree, but you can put them in different areas all over the board, and that's kind of the way you start up. If you'll see, there's like a little jagged line there because the board is smaller for fewer players. And then once all the camels of all the different players are all over the board, and I'll put a few more out, even though this is completely just random. I would be thinking about it a little bit more if I were playing. But on my turn, it's very simple. I take 2 camels from these piles of camels over here. Any 2 camels I want. I could take 2 pink, I could take a purple and a yellow, whatever I want. However, once I take the camels, I place them next to camels of my color. So let's say I'm the red player, and I've taken a yellow. I can place this yellow camel here, 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 here. So I place it here. Why do I place it there? Because I get this chip now, and I put it in front of me that's worth 1 point. In the future, when I put out another yellow camel, I can place that yellow camel here, 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 or all the way around this one, because you're building a line of camels. Now, there's a couple things you're doing with this camel line as you build them. One thing you want to do is you want to place them and touch an oasis. The first time you touch an oasis, you are going to get a little 5-point chip. Now, you can't touch that oasis the same time. If I go here, I don't get 5 more points. If I go there with one of my other color camel trains later on, I can get 5 more points. So there's that. I'm also going to try to hit as many of these watering holes as I can as the game progresses to get those points. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut off a whole section of the board if possible. You'll notice that there is a little rounded area here which acts as an edge of the board, but let's say I had my camels like this. At the end of the game, I've enclosed this whole area here, and I would get 1 point for each spot that I've enclosed. Now, you can never put your camel next to the same color as someone else's camel. So if, for example, the green camels are over here, neither one of us can put a yellow camel in between, because then we would join our caravans, and that's not possible. So the game is going to progress until all of one of these colors is gone. At that point, when one of the colors is gone, the game ends. Each player's color line is examined, and whoever has the longest line of camels in each color gets a 10 bonus point. You also count up your points for any enclosed area. You'll show all your bonus points that you've gotten for connecting to oases and going on water holes, and whoever has the most points is the winner. It's very simple. One of the reasons I think I like Through the Desert so much is the fact that it's just so simple. And I honestly believe that the best abstract games are the most simple ones. On this one, you are simply putting out 2 camels. Now, that doesn't mean there's a huge amount of options, because you have 5 camels out at the beginning of the game. You can put those camels next to those, and you have to decide which of the camels in which directions. But it's still kind of a fluid game. I'm going for watering holes. I'm trying to connect to oases. I'm going to maybe make the longest blue train. I'm going to cut off a section of the board. In fact, this game has a lot of similarities to Go. And I know the Go purists out there are screaming, no, it's nothing like Go. Go is so much better. Maybe so. But I like this game, and I do not like Go. I understand the appeal of Go. I understand the classicness, and I understand the strategy. Well, I don't understand the strategy, but I understand that the strategy is there. But it's not accessible for me without huge amounts of studying, while Through the Desert is. It's a game that I think is a lot of fun, and I can play with lots of people, and yet is very, very deep and beyond that. So if you haven't tried it out, if you don't like abstract games, give this one a try anyway. It's fast, it takes about 45 minutes to play, and yet when you're done, you feel like you played a pretty solid game. Knizia makes a lot of games that have no theme. This is one of them, but I still insist that this is one of his, if not his best game, and one that will be considered a classic many years from now. Through the Desert.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.